Hi, it's Alex from YouShouldCraft.com, and today we're going to make this rainbow mug koozie. So I'll show you both ways, but we can either make it without a cloud, so it's just a rainbow, or we can make one that has a cloud on it, so that it is a rainbow with a cloud. In order to do this activity, you'll need a whole rainbow of yarn scraps. So our full Roy G. Biv situation. So, oops, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. If you're thinking like, oh, that doesn't really look like indigo, that's because it's not, it's teal. I don't have indigo yarn scraps, and it sort of defeats the purpose of a scrap buster if you have to buy more yarn for it. But aside from your colored yarn, you'll need some white yarn. You'll need more of this because it'll be the whole border of your koozie. You'll also need a button about 1 inch in diameter, an H 5mm crochet hook, some scissors, and your tapestry needles. So you really just need one, but mine come in this little tube. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to do is chain 30 with your violet or purple yarn. So we'll make our slip knot and get rid of all this background stuff. Okay, cool. So we're chaining 30. So let's double count to make sure we have 30. Cool. So when you have 30, you're going to crochet a single crochet in the back loop only on your second chain from your hook. So not this one, but this one. So we'll make that single crochet and then just single crochet all the way across. So when you're done, you should have 29 single crochets. So right now you should have 29 single crochets on your hook. If you're wondering why I have 2 loops, that's because we are about to change to our next color, which in this case is that indigo / teal in my case. So just put the new yarn over your hook, just like you would if you were actually crocheting with it. And then pull it through to finish off your single crochet. And now you are using the new color. So you will want to tighten it up a little bit. And then you can trim that purple yarn that you had started with. And we are totally done with that color. So you'll chain 1. And then we're just going to single crochet across. I like to crochet over my yarn tails so that you have less to weave in, because it is like my least favorite part about crocheting, and I think a lot of people feel that way. But so just single crochet over your tails, or you can leave them out and weave them in at the end. It's totally a personal preference. But just crochet those 29 across, and then I'll show you what to do next. So once you finish crocheting those 29 blue or teal or indigo single crochets, you're going to keep working on this row. You're going to chain 10. This will become the little flap that goes underneath your mug handle and connects to the button. Sweet. So now you've crocheted this whole row of whatever color you're using for indigo, and then you've added those 10 stitches. So the next thing that you're going to do is trim your yarn and get out your blue for the next rainbow layer. So just like we did before, you're going to just lay your blue yarn over, just like this, and then pull it through, and then you'll single crochet across in the back loops only. And don't forget to tighten up that yarn a little bit and make sure that you weave it in. Or again, you can crochet over it. So this little end part will end up having 9 single crochets. And again, these are in the back loops only. If you do them in both, it's not a huge deal. I just find that when I crochet my single crochet border, if you have 2 loops for your stitches to go into, then it ends up looking a lot cleaner. Okay, so now that we've finished our little row, this little extension part, you're just going to crochet in both loops and single crochet the rest of the way across. So there should be your 9 single crochets over here, and then 29 on the main body portion. And once you feel like they're sufficiently woven in, you can trim off any like weird straggler parts of your yarn. Just make sure you're tightening it up a little bit before you trim them. And then they'll be out of your way. So now that you've finished the blue, we have violet, indigo, blue, and we're gonna go ahead and switch to green, the G in our Roy G bib. So tighten it up a little bit. Oops. We'll chain 1, and then you're gonna single crochet most of the way across. But we're actually going to make a buttonhole. So we're going to crochet 33, which will put us 5 short from the end. And then we'll make our buttonhole and finish up on the green. So once you've crocheted 33, you are going to chain 3, and then you'll skip 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and then you'll single crochet in those last 2 stitches just to wrap it up. But again, we're going to trim our yarn and then attach the next color, which for us is yellow. And this might be a little bit twisted, but as it gets wider, it'll stop being as twisty. So don't worry about it right now. Oh, my yarn is sticking together. Okay, so chain one, and then you're going to single crochet all the way across. And the yellow will finish up our little extension portion. So on our next row, we're not going to crochet on this part at all. So I just crocheted into the buttonhole. You could totally crochet into the chains. It's just like kind of harder and more annoying, so I didn't. But so just crochet all the way till the end, and that'll wrap up your yellow. So now we've finished our row of yellow, and we're gonna add our next color, which is orange, or in my case, kind of a gold color, because again, I didn't have the one I needed, which is so weird because I feel like I have a lot of yarn at my house. And so to not have orange worsted weight yarn or like navy worsted weight has been, I mean, it makes me feel like I need more yarn. But so for the orange, we are not going to crochet onto the little tab at the end. So we're gonna stop right here. So you're just gonna crochet the 29 that we started with. So you want to make sure that you're counting to make sure that you're doing the right amount. So again, I like to crochet over my ends because weaving them in is not fun. I still do weave them in a little bit at the end. So I'll crochet over like 3/4 of the yarn tail, and then I'll weave in that last little bit before I cut it off, just so it's tighter. Great, so now when you have 29 in your orange or gold color, you're just gonna trim your yarn again and connect red, which is your very last of the colors of the rainbow, and then we'll just be crocheting the border with white. So again, we're gonna chain one, turn, set up your ends to weave them in, and then we're just gonna single crochet across, which in this case is gonna end up being 29 single crochets. So now that you've finished your row of red, again, you should have 29 single crochets in your red row. You'll cut your yarn and then you'll add the white, and we're just gonna head right into the border. The border is gonna be crocheted in the round, and we're just gonna start by going right down this side right here. So you'll just put one single crochet in each like color row, and then you'll just put one in each stitch going around, except for in the corners where you'll crochet 3. Okay. So again, we're just going in the round. So I'm just gonna crochet my very first single crochet in this same single crochet that I ended on, and make sure that you tighten it by pulling your yarn. And then I'll put a single crochet into the orange, yellow, green, this one is tight, blue, and then the fake indigo. And violet. And since this purple is on a corner, or the violet, sorry, we're gonna crochet 3 into this. So we already have 1, 2, and 3 single crochets, and then we'll just continue to crochet single crochets around this whole edge. So we're gonna end up doing 2 rows of this just plain white single crochet border, putting 3 in every corner. And when you get to here, this kind of inset corner, you're gonna be really tempted to put a single crochet here in the corner itself, but don't, or it'll get kind of bunchy. I did it the first time I tried, but so you'll put 1 single crochet here on the purple, and then 1 single crochet here on the teal / indigo, and you won't put anything in this weird corner part. And then the same thing up here. You won't crochet into the corner, you'll just do 1 here in the yellow and 1 here in the orange. But I'll show you when we get to that part. So just continue to single crochet all the way around the edge. Okay, so we are on this next corner. So again, we're gonna crochet 3 into all the corners. So I've already done 1. Here's 2 single crochets and 3 single crochets. And then here's that weird part that I was telling you about. So here in this little corner, I don't know, like a reverse corner, inverse corner, I don't know what it's called. But anyway, here in this little space, we are not gonna crochet here. So we crocheted in our purple stitch, and then we're gonna skip this weird thing, and we're just gonna go to the bottom of the indigo part. And then we'll single crochet, and we'll just continue to single crochet around the edges. The next weird part. So we're going to crochet 1 single crochet in this last yellow. And then again, we're skipping this weird corner space that you might be tempted to crochet in, and we're just going right around to the last orange. And then you'll just continue as you were, single crocheting 1 in every stitch except for the corners where you'll put 3. So in this red corner, I'm going to single crochet 3. Here's 1, 2, and 3. And then just continuing all the way around. So we're gonna do 2 rows of this white single crochet border. So once you finish your first row, you're just gonna continue in the round. So you're just gonna single crochet on top of the very first single crochet from before. We'll put 2 there, and then at the very end, we'll do our third corner, or third corner stitch. And just, again, crochet all the way around, putting 1 single crochet in all of the other single crochets except for the corners where you'll put 3. And once you finish the border, like, that's pretty much it. We'll sew on the button, and then if you want to make the cloud, which is totally optional, I'll show you how to make that too. So I have just crocheted the very last single crochet in our 2-layered border. So I'm going to cut my yarn, and I'm going to pull this all the way through. I like to join with an invisible join, but you could of course use a slip stitch if you wanted to too. So just put your yarn through your tapestry needle. And to do an invisible join, you're gonna put the yarn in the second stitch from the one where you are. So we're here, and we're gonna skip this one and put it in the second one. So 1, 2, and then pull it around. Basically what this invisible join does is it's gonna mimic the top of that stitch that we skipped. And then you can just put it through and pull it. And so if you look, it just looks like a continuous crocheted border. And then you just weave in your ends like you normally would. So I just kind of jam the yarn through like wherever it fits. I try to go kind of like around and up, just so that you get it woven in there really well, especially on your border. You don't want your yarn to come out. And then when you're satisfied with your joining and your weaving, you can just trim your yarn. And then we are done with the whole body. Oh, I still have one strand to cut off and weave in. But we're done with our whole body of the koozie. So the final thing we're gonna do is just put our button on. So it's gonna wrap around your mug like this. You can measure your mug or test it out by wrapping this around your mug just to see like how big you're gonna need it. I sized this whole thing for my mug, which is just a standard size mug. But so I'm going to sew my button onto the green stripe because that G is the middle of our rainbow. So I'm just gonna cut off a piece of white yarn. Again, you could use any color that you wanted. I'm using white because it matches the border, and none of the other colors would really match the green as well as I want it to. But so you line it up so that it's on the green. I'm sewing up from the bottom. Cool, so it turns out that this tapestry needle is too big. So I'm gonna get a different one because I have like 6. Okay, so this one's smaller. So you'll either need, as I just learned, you'll either need a smaller tapestry needle or you'll need a button that has bigger holes. Mine, I just bought this giant like 1-pound bag of colored buttons from Amazon, and I use those same buttons for like all my projects that need buttons. But there's a bunch of cute shapes and colors. It's pretty fun. So I've just been doing 3 loops around this. You don't want to crochet it super tight, or it might make it hard to button. But you also don't want it to fall off. So I did 3 loops on my button and then turn it over. I've been kind of weaving it like a little bit. And then this is the back that's gonna touch, like this is gonna be against your cup. I've honestly just been tying a knot and then trimming the ends. You could totally like try harder and weave them in. I just feel like this is the side no one's gonna see. So for me personally, I don't care very much about making it pretty, but you totally could if you wanted to. You'll also want to make sure that if you have a tail that you don't sew it into your button. So I still have to weave in this red. So I'll do that one now too. But so if you don't want to do the cloud, then right now your mug koozie is done. You'll just button it and you can put it on your mug. This is like a really weird camera angle to see the whole mug. That's it. Let's go ahead and get started with the cloud. You're going to begin by chaining 9. So you'll just make your slip knot. So now we have 9 chains, and you're going to do a double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. So you'll skip number 1 and number 2 and then put your double crochet here. Yarn over. And then we're going to do 5 single crochets. We'll just do 1 in each chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you look, you'll know that you have 1 chain left. We're going to do 4 single crochets into that 1 final chain. And as you do this, you should start to you'll start to see your chain naturally turn around, which is perfect because we are going to start crocheting on the opposite side. So now we have these 4 single crochets, and we're going to continue kind of like how we did on the front. So the first thing we're going to do is 5 single crochets in the next, well, 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then in the last space, which is where you should have your chain 2 and your double crochet coming off of, we are going to double crochet 4. Oops, and you'll want to yarn over first. right, so you might be able to see it, but this will be the very first little cloud puffy. I honestly don't know what they're called. So the next thing you're going to do is join to the top of that first chain 2, where we skip those 2 stitches. So 1, 2, we're going to slip stitch up on the top. And we're going to slip stitch in the top of that double crochet. And then we're going to do some treble or triple crochets. So to start these, you're going to yarn over twice. And then in that first single crochet, we're going to do 6 treble or triple crochets. So here's our second little cloud puff. The next thing you're going to do is skip 2 chain or single crochets. Here's 1, 2, and then we're going to slip stitch in this one. And then in this next stitch, we're going to do 4 double crochets. So now we have 3 little cloud puffs. We're going to skip 1 chain, or single crochet, sorry, and then we're going to slip stitch in the next one, if you can get your hook into it. And then this next part is going to be a big puff. So we're going to crochet 10 triple or treble crochets into the next stitch. So that is your 4th cloud puff. So again, because of the triple crochets, we're going to skip 2. So 1, 2, and then we'll slip stitch in the next one. And in this same stitch, you're going to crochet more triple crochets. So we are shooting for 8. Okay, so now we have the 5 little puffs from the cloud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, we'll skip 2, 1, 2, and then slip stitch in the 3rd space. And that is it. So you'll trim your yarn and use your tapestry needle to weave in your ends. I also like to use my tapestry needle to kind of close some of the holes in the middle of the cloud. As you can see, there's some spaces, and so as you weave, you can kind of weave to close those up a little bit. They just happen because we put so much in the same chain. But you can close them up a little bit by just strategically weaving in your ends. So now that you've made your cloud, you can go ahead and sew it onto your koozie wherever you want. On mine, I sewed it right where this skinnier button flap starts to come off, but you can put it literally anywhere. So you choose the spot that's best for you and sew it on, and then you're totally done with your rainbow mug koozie. So thank you for watching, and please check out my other videos and subscribe to the You Should Craft channel. Thanks!